a horrifying series of events, 3 people found themselves trapped in a car, only to become prey to deadly animals. This chilling story will leave you questioning the safety of even the most secure places. Tiger fatally mauls motorcyclist in Corbett Reserve. In mid-2022, a man-eating tiger began attacking people near the Corbett Tiger Reserve in Uttarakhand, India. This reserve has the largest population of Royal Bengal tigers in the country. However, one of these majestic cats had turned dangerous, targeting humans. It seemed to have learned that humans were easy prey, but didn't go after people walking alone in the forest. Instead, it developed a taste for people on motorbikes. The roar of a motorbike engine might have attracted the tiger, making it aware of human presence. Or perhaps it realized that humans riding on highways weren't as alert as those walking through the jungle. Whatever the reason, the attacks on bikers quickly added up. On June 15th, a motorcyclist riding alone along a road near the reserve never returned home. His worried family found his overturned motorbike by the roadside, and a trail of crushed plants led to his partially eaten body. Just 2 days later, on June 17th, 2 forest officials on a motorbike were ambushed by the tiger, knocked them off their bike, killing one and dragging him into the forest, while the other managed to escape. With human blood on its fangs, the tiger started hunting more aggressively. Locals living near the reserve had no choice but to use roads passing through tiger territory, risking their lives daily. Even children traveling to nearby schools were in danger. On July 16th, 2 friends, Asru and Muhammad, decided to take a trip on their motorbike. That evening, as they headed home along a road cutting through Corbett National Park, their bike's engine echoed through the dense forest. A tiger lurking in the shadows heard the sound and moved stealthily towards them, hidden by the thick vegetation. As the bike approached, the tiger crouched and launched itself at the 2 friends, striking the bike with great force. The crash threw both men off. They got up quickly, only to come face to face with the massive predator. Standing 3 feet tall at the shoulders and nearly 10 feet long, Tiger was an intimidating sight. Muhammad tried to circle around the bike, while Asru ran in another direction. The tiger leaped forward and grabbed Asru in its powerful jaws. Muhammad looked back in horror as the tiger bit into his friend's neck and shoulder. Bengal tigers have sharp 4-inch-long teeth and can suffocate their prey within moments. Against such a powerful predator, Asru had little chance of survival. Just seconds later, Asru was dragged into the bushes by the tiger, still trying to fight back, but his strength was fading. It wasn't long before the tiger's grip suffocated him. Muhammad, terrified and helpless, ran as fast as he could to find help. As he fled, he could still hear his friend's final cries echoing in the dark. Muhammad eventually reached a forest department post, where he banged on the door and burst in, shaking and begging for help. Joint search and rescue team from the Ramnagar Forest Division and the Corbett Tiger Reserve quickly assembled and headed to the scene. In the darkness, they called out for Asru, but the forest remained silent, the only sound being the rustling of leaves in the wind. As they combed through the undergrowth with flashlights, they came across a bloodied mobile phone and Asru's bag. Following the trail deeper into the reserve, they reached a riverbank where they made a gruesome discovery: 2 severed hands lying in the dirt. Though there was no body in sight, the team feared the worst. They decided it was too risky to continue the search at night and would resume in the morning. The agonizing wait left Asru's family and Muhammad dreading the inevitable news. When word of the attack spread, officials warned locals to stay away from the forest, as it was far too dangerous with the man-eating tiger on the loose. The authorities now had the daunting task of locating the tiger and safely relocating it. At first light, the rescue team resumed their search. It wasn't long before they found what they feared. Just 300 meters from the road where Asru had been taken, they discovered his mutilated body lying next to his shoes. The sight was horrifying, but it was the outcome the search team had anticipated. The recent attacks had already left the local community on edge, but confirming yet another death sent shockwaves through the area. With a village high school nearby, there were growing fears that the tiger might strike again. Officials patrolled the school grounds to ensure the children's safety. Determined to prevent another tragedy, everyone remained on high alert, keeping a watchful eye for the elusive predator. To track the tiger, 14 camera traps were set up around the area. The animal seemed to sense the danger. It skillfully avoided capture, leaving locals gripped by fear. Frustrated by the lack of protection, angry residents staged a roadblock protest, demanding their right to live without constant fear of attacks. The situation highlighted a troubling dilemma, balancing the need to protect an endangered species while ensuring the safety of communities living near the reserve. The area relied heavily on tiger tourism, yet it also served as home to many villagers who depended on roads cutting through tiger territory for daily life. As human settlements continue to expand into the tiger's habitat, chances of conflict grow. Tragically, these endangered big cats may cause more heartbreak as they come into closer contact with people. For both the villagers and India's iconic predator, finding a lasting solution is critical, but far from easy. Black bear fatally mauls girl during safari park patrol. Gunma Safari Park, a serene wildlife sanctuary in northwest Tokyo, Japan, became the site of a harrowing tragedy on August 16, 2016. Known for its natural beauty and unique safari experience, the park allows visitors to observe over 100 free-roaming species from the safety of vehicles. But on that fateful day, the park's tranquility was shattered by an unimaginable event. Kiyomi Sato, a 46-year-old park ranger, embarked on her usual patrol that morning, driving through the park's expansive grounds. As she navigated the trails, ensuring the safety of the animals and visitors, a routine day turned into a life-threatening ordeal. Unknown to her, a black bear lurking in the park's thick foliage was about to launch a vicious attack. At 46 years old, Kiyomi was a seasoned ranger whose passion for wildlife and conservation was evident in her dedication to her duties. On that warm summer day, she embarked on her routine patrol, driving through the park's expansive 360,000 square meter grounds in a vehicle equipped with safety bars on the windows. The sun bathed the landscape in golden hues, and the sounds of chirping birds filled the air, creating an idyllic atmosphere. As she drove through the safari zone, her car came to a gentle stop near a herd of giraffes. These majestic creatures, with their elegant necks stretched toward the sky, moved gracefully through the grassy plains, offering a serene moment amidst the wilderness. For Kiyomi, moments like these were why she loved her job. Yet, unbeknownst to her, danger was silently closing in. While Kiyomi admired the giraffes, an Asian black bear lurking nearby set its sights on her vehicle. Driven by hunger and primal instincts, 5-year-old, 160-kilogram bear approached her car with calculated intent. With startling strength, the bear reared up on its hind legs and grasped the safety bar on the passenger side window. Designed to prevent animals from reaching into the vehicle, bar should have been a safeguard. However, under the immense force of the bear's paws, the metal gave way. The safety bar, intended to protect the occupants of the car, was ripped from its frame, leaving Kiyomi vulnerable. Bear seized its opportunity and climbed into the vehicle through the open window. In an instant, the safe haven of her car turned into a chamber of terror. Kiyomi, caught off guard and unable to escape, was helpless as the bear launched its attack. The predator's fangs tore into her left breast and stomach with devastating ferocity. Pain and fear overwhelmed her as the confined space amplified the horror of the encounter. Nearby visitors, witnessing the commotion from a distance, were stunned and horrified, unaware of the full extent of the danger unfolding before their eyes. Park staff, alerted by the cries and the shaking of the vehicle, rushed to the scene. Armed and determined to save their colleague, they shot the bear to prevent further harm. Kiyomi was pulled from the vehicle and given immediate medical attention before being rushed to a nearby hospital. Despite the best efforts of paramedics and doctors, her injuries were too severe. She succumbed to her wounds later that day, leaving a profound void in the hearts of her family, friends, and colleagues. This devastating loss marked the second fatal animal attack in Gunma Safari Park's history. The first occurred in 1997 when a tiger killed a couple who had exited their vehicle in the tiger enclosure, ignoring safety guidelines. In the aftermath of the tragedy, authorities launched an investigation to understand how the bear managed to breach the vehicle's defenses. It was discovered that only one safety bar had been installed across the car windows, despite recommendations to use two. Park had opted for a single bar as a compromise between safety and convenience, prioritizing ease of access for feeding animals. Following the incident, the park implemented stricter safety measures, including reinforcing all vehicles with 2 safety bars per window. While the use of additional wire mesh was considered, it was ultimately rejected as it would obstruct visibility and make it difficult for rangers to feed the animals. Lost to the ocean, the tragic tale of Diego Berea. On the evening of February 18th, Diego Berea, a devoted husband and father of 3, set out on what should have been a simple journey home. Instead, his decision to stop by a friend's house for a quick visit led to an evening of laughter and camaraderie. Diego, ever the life of the party, found himself caught up in an impromptu gathering that extended into the early evening. He texted his wife, letting her know he'd be later than expected, and had 2 more beers with his friends before deciding to head home. It was dusk when Diego left, mounting his ATV to begin the familiar ride back. He put on his helmet, but in a bad habit that his wife constantly chastised him for, didn't bother to fasten it properly. The coastal path he chose was serene, the sun casting its final rays across the sparkling ocean as the waves lapped gently against the shore. The dirt road, parallel to the busier main street, was quiet, save for the occasional sound of the tide and the faint hum of distant cars. As he rode along, Diego didn't see the large rock buried beneath the sand until it was too late. His ATV struck it, flipping violently to the side. Diego was thrown from his vehicle, soaring through the air before landing on a jagged boulder. His helmet, unfastened, flew off his head upon impact. The force of the collision fractured his skull, rendering him unconscious, and his lifeless body rolled into the rising tide. The ATV, meanwhile, tumbled several times before coming to rest upright in the shallows. Waves slowly dragged it farther south along the shore, but Diego was carried into the depths by the relentless current. With no witnesses, and the quiet beach cloaked in darkness, there was no one to help. Diego's wife assumed he had stayed out late with his friends and didn't report him missing until the next afternoon. By February 19th, search parties were combing the coastline. They found his helmet near the crash site, a haunting reminder of the tragic accident. The ATV was discovered the following day, miles away, fully submerged in water. Though it bore the marks of an impact consistent with an accident, there was still no sign of Diego. Without a body, the mystery of his disappearance lingered painfully for his family and community. Almost 2 weeks later, on March 3rd, a group of fishermen made a chilling discovery. Among their catch was a 5-foot-long school shark. While gutting the fish aboard their vessel, they found something that left them horrified: a human arm, marked by a distinctive rose tattoo on its wrist. The fishermen immediately radioed for help, and upon reaching the harbor, authorities took the remains and the shark for further examination. The coroner confirmed that the tattoo matched Diego's. The rose had deep significance. It was a symbol of the love he shared with his wife, Daniela. When they first met, Diego had given her a single red rose on their first date. A month later, he had the flower inked into his arm, and just 3 months after that, they were married. For Daniela, the discovery felt like a message from beyond, a sign that Diego had somehow guided the shark into the fisherman's net so that she could have a part of him to bury. Further examination revealed that another shark, a smaller female caught in the same net, also contained scraps of human tissue, suggesting that both sharks had scavenged Diego's remains. While most of his body was lost to the ocean, the one part of him that could be identified, a symbol of his undying love, was returned to his grieving family. Daniela believes that Diego's spirit orchestrated the events leading to his partial recovery, giving her the chance to say a proper goodbye. She buried the arm with love and reverence, laying to rest the man who had brought her so much joy in life, even in his tragic and untimely death. This terrifying tale shows just how unpredictable nature can be. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more shocking stories. Stay tuned for more unbelievable survival tales, and remember to always respect the wild.